Let's do an exercise in value-based performance evaluation. I'm going to tell you a story, and at the end of the story, I'll ask you to evaluate the 5 main characters of this story, according to their behavior and according to the values that you see them demonstrate. A long time ago, in a very far place, there was a town, and a river ran through it. This town was actually cut in two by this river. On one side of the river lived Skippy, the male protagonist of our story. On the other side of the river lived Buffy, the female protagonist. As every story goes, this is a love story, and Skippy and Buffy were in love. They were so happy with one another. Everything looked perfect. Well, not quite everything. There was one little glitch in their relationship that they were trying to work out. And that's that Skippy was trying to consummate the relationship before they actually got married, while Buffy was not willing to do that. They were engaged, they were going to be married, and she wanted to wait to have the first experience of lovemaking with her husband. Now, Skippy wasn't too happy about that, but he understood Buffy's reasoning and, well, he was willing to wait as well. So things were going okay between the two of them while the time was passing and the day of the marriage was approaching. Well, as luck or bad luck had it, there was this huge storm that came through the town. And this storm also triggered floods. And the floods were so big that they washed away the bridge that went over the river and connected the two sides of the town. And it was at such terrible time as Buffy was on one side of the river and Skippy was on the other side of the river. So the two of them were cut off from one another. So were hundreds and hundreds of people. There were no communications. All communications had been cut, and Skippy and Buffy, as well as most people in the town, were cut off from their friends and families who were left on the other side without a bridge to cross. Everybody was quite upset, as you can imagine. Everybody except Sinbad. Sinbad was a sailor, and he happened to have his boat under repairs. So when the floods came and the bridge was washed away and all the boats that were on the river destroyed, his boat was left unharmed. So Sinbad was having a fantastic time because he was the only way to cross. So people were queuing for hours and hours and willing to pay exorbitant amounts of money to cross the river and meet with their friends and family. And Sinbad was out of capacity. He only had one boat, and he was making money like a bandit, but he only could take so many people. Well, every morning, Skippy would go to his side of the river and Buffy to her side of the river, and they would look at the other side and barely see the other. And they would wave at one another, they would scream their love, but the water was rushing. There was no way to hear anything. They could only just wave, and every day, just heartbroken, not knowing how long this would last. Finally, the engineers of the kingdom came. They did a survey, and they told the people in the town that just as so many other towns had been hurt by this huge storm, it was going to take them perhaps months to fix the bridge. Months? People were desperate. It was so terrible. But even more desperate were Skippy and Buffy. Months meant even beyond the date that they had set for marriage. What were they going to do? Well, there was not much to do except pay for Sinbad to cross them over. But they were poor. They didn't have the money it took. So for now, every day they would just go and wave at one another and cry and scream how much they missed each other, but to no avail. One day, when Buffy went to her side of the river, Skippy wasn't there. She was really worried. What could have happened to him? But no, she thought. Maybe something came up today. Maybe today he couldn't come. Let's wait till tomorrow. She got really worried the next day when Skippy didn't show up either. Now it was 2 days in a row, and she was seriously wondering what was wrong. Could something have happened to him? You can imagine her desperation the 3rd day when Skippy didn't show up. So very distressed, in the afternoon she went to see Sinbad. Sinbad was cleaning his boat, counting the proceeds of the day, very happy, when Buffy arrived, and Sinbad received her with a warm welcome, greeted her with a smile, and said, "How can I help you?" Sinbad, said Buffy, "I need your help. I'd like to cross to the other side." And Sinbad said, "No problem. I'll take you tomorrow." "No, Sinbad, but you don't understand. I need credit too, because I can't pay you now. I promise I'm going to pay you over time, but I don't have all the money. I need to cross right now, though. Would you take me?" And Sinbad said, "Of course, no problem. I'll do anything for you. Why don't we do a little barter?" "What do you mean?" "Well, barter. I do something for you, you do something for me." "What kind of barter are you proposing?" "It's a very simple deal. You come tonight and you spend the night with me, and tomorrow I take you to the other side." "What? Are you crazy? I'm not going to do that." "Okay, well, it's a deal. You want to do it? You're welcome. You don't want to do it? It's okay." "No, but I need to cross. I'll pay you." "I don't want your money. I don't want to charge you. It's like, hey, it's a little transaction here, but in kind, not in money." "Ah!" said Buffy, and he walked away. Being very distressed, Buffy didn't know who to turn except to Norma, her old-time friend. Norma was also the matchmaker that had helped her connect with Skippy. So she walked up to Norma's home, looked for her, and when she found her, she said, Norma, please, you have to help me." "How can I help you?" "Well, I've been waiting for Skippy to show up, and he's not coming, and I don't know what to do, and Sinbad is asking me to do some awful things to cross over. I'm completely lost. I need your advice." And Norma said, "Oh, okay, great. If you want my advice, come tonight, and I'll address your issue in my public meeting." "What? No, but this is very private. I need to talk to you alone." No, I'm sorry, Buffy. I can't give you advice alone. This is a matter of the heart. This is my profession. I can only help you in the public setting." "But Norma, you're my friend. I am lost." "I understand, and I'm willing to help you, but not now. So please come tonight." And saying that, Norma walked away. The next day, hoping against hope, she goes to the side of the river, and Skippy's not there again. Now she's seriously thinking that something bad, very bad happened to him. There's no explanation. She can't imagine how could he be absent so many days. So totally distressed and just at the edge of desperation, she goes to see Sinbad in the afternoon to plead one more time with him. "Sinbad, please, I beg you, let me pay you. Let me pay you. I need to cross over. I need to see what happened to Skippy." "No, you spend the night with me, or you're not crossing." Buffy sighed, and she ended the conversation saying, "I'll come tonight." Well, she did spend the night with Sinbad, and then the next morning, Sinbad, honoring his word, took her to the other side. When she lands on the other side, she goes running to Skippy's house, knocks the door, and Skippy opens the door in his pajamas, looking very disheveled. When they saw one another, they fell into each other's arms, and they kissed and hugged and danced, and they were so happy, celebrating. But in the middle of that, Skippy just moved Buffy away and said, "How did you get here?" "Sinbad brought me." "Sinbad brought you? That costs a fortune. How could you pay him?" "Well, I didn't pay him, except we made a trade." "A trade? What trade?" "Well, it was kind of a barter." What kind of barter? Well, I spent the night with him and then he brought me. What? You spent the night with him? What? Are you out of your mind? All these months where you've been saying you wanted to be a virgin for a marriage and now you spend the night. But wait, Skippy, please, let me explain. No, I don't want to hear you. Get the hell out of my house. But please no, out. And saying that, Skippy just pushed her out, slammed the door. Buffy was destroyed. She was utterly destroyed. She walked away thinking about what to do with her life. She was alone on the wrong side of the river, and she thought, I'm just going to jump in the river. I'll kill myself. Life is worthless now. So she was walking towards the river with full intention of killing herself when she crossed paths with Sluggo. And Sluggo asked her, what's wrong? He saw her in this terrible state, and he just inquired, what was wrong with her. And Buffy told Sluggo the whole story. Sluggo took her, sat her on a bench, and said, please, wait for me here. Let me see what I can do. And Buffy, crying, said, okay, fine, I'll wait here. So Sluggo went to Skippy's place and knocked the door. Skippy opened the door, and the moment Skippy opened the door, Sluggo just punched him and knocked him out. After that, he went to the coast, the side of the river, found Sinbad, tapped him in the shoulder, and the moment Sinbad turned around, just knocked him out again. And that's the story. So we have 5 characters. We have Skippy, Buffy, Sinbad, Norma, and Sluggo. Given the facts of the story, I'd like you to think who in your mind is the most despicable character of these 5. In fact, I'll ask you to rank order them from 1 to 5, where 1 is the least despicable and 5 is the most despicable. And each one of the characters have to have 1 rating, so you cannot repeat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters. Who's the most despicable? Who's in the middle? Who's the least despicable in your mind? And in the next video, we're going to discuss your answers.